Saturday night. Welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. Sit yourselves down. Come on. I love it. Hey, I want to share something personal with you, if I can, for a second, because it's a milestone weekend in my house at the moment, the Ross household, because my son Harvey has turned 18 today. Young man. I'm so pleased, and it's... Thank you. I tell you, it's really means something, because my heart is overflowing like Stacey Solomon's ashtray. It really is. I didn't make her smoke. Don't take it out on me. God, it makes me feel old, though. I'll be honest with you, having an 18-year-old son. I never thought being 35 would be as tough as this. So, happy birthday. I want to say happy birthday to my son, mainly because, you know, it's a big moment for me, and also because if I do it here, I don't have to buy him a card. So, happy birthday. And while we're at it, happy Mother's Day to my mum as well. Okay? Too dumb. Scientists have developed a pill that prevents ageing. I don't know if you've read this exciting news. They found a gene that helps you live an extra 20 years. It's being tested on mice. Here's a mouse when he started the test. And here's a mouse after he's been taking the pill for a while. He's 76 years old. And as you can see, it's really helping. Looks like Dappy, doesn't he, that mouse? Here's a story from America. True story. I love this story. Tramps out there, homeless is the nicer word, are being paid to carry around Wi-Fi hotspots. They're actually giving them a Wi-Fi thing to carry around the park. So if you're in, for example, Central Park, a beautiful part of New York, you can always get a signal, which is a great idea. You just sit next to a tramp, you open your Mac. That's your computer, not the tramp. The scheme is great. The only problem is sometimes the tramp's go into the bushes to log out. So you see what happens... OK, let's do another. A man from London has complained that he can't find love because he looks like former North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il. Okay? Now, here's Kim Jong-il just before he died, just in case you've forgotten. OK, and here's the lookalike we're speaking about. OK. Now, I can see what would turn the ladies off there, although, a word of advice, if you are worried about looking like the late North Korean despot, do not dress exactly like him. It was Crufts this week. We got any dog lovers out here? I love my dogs. So let's say congratulations to Elizabeth, the winning dog. There she is. Look at that. That's a fine specimen. What a pedigree that dog has. Its mother was Donatella Versace. Its father was the lead singer of The Sweets, I think. But I'm guessing its winning routine didn't involve doing this.
Handling well ahead of the dog, well ahead of the dog. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. You make the dog go behind you and you can lose control. Whoops! Oh, no! Oh, and it was a good run, too. Well, a dog's got to do what a dog's got to do. What a shame. Oh, dear.
Poor thing. That was genuinely from Crufts this year, OK? What a classy start to the show that is, isn't it? But I feel for that dog, because no one wants to go when you're at work, do you? Sometimes, though, you have to. I've had guests do that in the green room. That's why Michael Ball will not be invited back for quite some while. Bad boy. Let's see who's on the show tonight. We've got a great lineup for you. My first guest is a wonderful comedian. She's fast becoming one of the country's national treasures. It is Serie Millican. OK. You probably know this already, but maybe you don't. Sarah grew up in South Shields.
Yes, that's right.
Which makes you a proud Geordie.
Yes. Yeah,
Geordie, proud of it. Sarah is so Geordie, she doesn't have an iPad, she has a Y-iPad.
Poor, very poor.
It's Serie Millican, ladies and gentlemen. There she is. I'm thrilled you're on the show. Thank you for joining us. OK, my next guest is, I think, the nation's favourite style guru. He's like Trini and Susanna all rolled into one, only better looking. It is Mr. Gok Wan. Who doesn't love a bit of Gocky? Gok, fabulous to see you.
Good to see you too, darling. Looking fit.
Oh, thank you. Gok changes his outfit up to 6 times a day. Is that on a busy fashion day? You do it 6 times a day?
A busy Saturday, but if I was with you, Jonathan, I'll probably be more undressed than dressed.
Wow. Do I have a say in this at all, or are you just going to come out and flash at me?
Whatever you want, Jonathan.
Okay.
Why break a habit?
Gok says body image is all about confidence and shows people how to dress well no matter what their figure is, OK? And it really works because look at Gok, he is 38 stone, and look how good he looks. Ah, I see what you've seen there. That's right. Gok has stolen a dog on the way to the studio, ladies and gentlemen. No, tell us about your little friend, Gok.
So, everyone, this is Dolly. This is my brand new daughter, and I love her. It's her TV debut because we know how much you love your dogs, Jonathan.
I do love them. And how old is Dolly?
She's 13 weeks this week.
And she's a French bulldog, if I'm not
French
mistaken.
bulldog, and she's absolutely loving this attention here.
I bet she is. I bet she is. You can imagine that dog's going to have a tough life, don't you? Gok Wan and Dolly the dog, ladies and gentlemen. OK. Now... Well, we've had, when we've had sports on the show, often we've had quite a few boxers on the show, and the reason for that is I'm a big boxing fan, and I've always been quite passionate about the sport. But my next guest is probably, I would say, the best boxer, pound for pound, of any boxer in the history of the sport. It is the magnificent Sugar Ray Leonard. There he is, right there. Sugar Ray. Mr. Leonard, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, John.
It's great to have you here. During his professional career, Sugar Ray had 36 wins, 3 draws, and just a 1 defeat. Okay? And that was to Naomi Campbell over an airport check-in queue. So that could happen to anyone. That's not a blemish there. Sugar Ray Leonard, ladies and gentlemen. And we've even gritted the stage for the arrival of our band tonight. We've got music from Snow Patrol. All right. They're not Coldplay. Calm down. What a band. You know, without Snow Patrol, X Factor would have no incidental backing music to use whatsoever. They're a great band. That's Snow Patrol, ladies and gentlemen. And they're playing a great track at the end of the show. Stick around for that. Hey, before we go on, one thing, you know, I've got to mention, farmers say that we could have a potato shortage later on in the year, which means that the price of potatoes will skyrocket. So in a year's time, they're saying that this could be worth its weight in gold, OK? You could be looking at the currency of the future. But, of course, if the thing you're buying costs a bit more, then you've got to make sure that you take around some change as well, OK? If you don't go that far, you can wait till they bring out the credit card, because that won't be long either. Or you can just use chip and pin. What? I can't believe how choosy you are tonight. OK, let's get my first guest out. She's one of the biggest selling stand-ups tour in the country. Will you please welcome the fabulous Sarah Millican? Now, hang on. I just heard a wolf whistle from the crowd there, and I believe the wolf whistle has been banned this week. Did you know that?
Oh, I finally get one. Somebody's banned it.
It's been banned. It's an EU thing. I think people are banned from doing that. Maybe you can do it in studios, but in the street, you can't do it.
Really?
Oh.
I once had somebody whistle at me, but it was kind of like a... I took it as a compliment, but it's not the same.
Let me ask you, you're sitting back there with Gok. Have you met Gok before?
Yes, I have.
OK, so you know Gok, and Gok, of course, is a famous stylist. Does he say to people when he meets some ladies, you should do this, does he try to get you naked to make you comfortable with your body? Is that...
No, he's not like that. So he's lovely. No, no, I sort of sort myself out. Not like that.
Just as well, because...
Actually, yes, like that. As well.
As if Gok would be any use in that department,
No, he's got a very licky dog.
Oh.
I would like help with my style, but nobody seems willing to take me on.
I don't think you need help. That's a nice outfit. I like that with the leggings under the top. It's nice.
I describe it as funky Nana, because if you saw a Nana dressed like this, you'd think, wow, she looks pretty good. But, like, maybe on a 36-year-old, it's not so good.
It's perfectly good. And you know what? That's giving me an idea. You should bring out a clothing range, call it Funky Nana.
Do you think? Just loads of cardies and slippers. And nothing in between. Just let the air get round.
Now, here's the thing. I'm very excited you're on the show because I'm a big fan. I've loved seeing you perform, and I know you've been doing comedy for a while, but it seems to me that it was the last 2 years, say, maybe 3, where suddenly it really exploded for you. Would that be fair? How did that feel? Did it take you by surprise, or did you feel, OK, I've been working this hard, it's my time?
I think you can only ever take it sort of step at a time, so you never... I didn't see, like, a big change. I just saw it sort of quite gradual. And it's always lovely when you work hard and it pays off. But it hasn't really changed me. It hasn't really changed my life very much in that I sort of still shop in the same places and I still eat the same things, and I think I need to upgrade a little bit. Like, I don't go to designer clothes shops and things like that. Instead of going, like, maybe in past I would have gone to, like, Dorothy Perkins and bought one top, I might treat myself to 2 now.
Yeah.
Or might buy one and get some earrings that match it. Shut up, things are going well. But I still haven't advanced to, like, posh shops yet.
Yeah.
I still feel intimidated in those places.
So you don't do... do you do online shopping? Do you buy designer stuff online? Have you got to that stage yet, or you wouldn't want to do that?
No, I don't like doing online shopping. I like touching things.
So feeling it first,
I
trying
like,
it on?
yeah, I like feeling... Because sometimes you buy a jumper and it's scratchy. That's no good, is it?
But you know, the great thing about buying stuff online is sometimes you forget you've ordered it, and when it turns up, you think someone sent you a present.
Oh, but you've paid for that present, Jonathan. That's quite sad. Buy yourself presents.
I buy myself presents every day. What's sad about that? No, my wife goes mad. There's always stuff turning up. Normally robots.
Robots?
Yeah.
Multiple?
Yeah, lots of robots.
How, like Metal Mickey? Like...
Oh, every possible robot you could think
really?
of.
And do they do everything around the house now?
I've got 5 robot dogs. And one of my robot dogs... One of my... That's not the reaction that gets at comic conventions. OK. Sarah Millican's going to stick around. We'll be chatting some more after the break. Don't go away. Sarah Millican coming up after this. Welcome back. The lovely Sarah Millican is still here, ladies and gentlemen. OK, so Sarah has a new show. I know everyone here has been enjoying it. I hope you're watching at home. The Sarah Millican programme is on Thursday nights. It's very funny, but I got a bit panicky when I heard you were doing it, because I thought... Someone said you're doing a talk show, and I thought, that's it. I'm going to be out of business. But it isn't just a talk show. There's much more to it. Yeah,
because I talk to people... Like, we have 2 different subjects, 2 different television genres that we talk about, and I talk to people who are experts in those areas. So I'm sort of kind of chatting to them, but they're behind the desk because they're the guys with all of the information.
Yeah,
and I'm on the sofa.
So they come and they go behind the desk and you sit on the couch.
Because they've got all the knowledge, and I'm learning from them.
Well, we should be doing this the other way round, really. Because you do love TV, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. It's how I wind down. It's... Yeah, and I'm not really the sort to go on adventures. Do you want to drive the world's dangerous roads? No. Do you want to sit on the sofa and just talk about that? Yes. Just want to watch telly, just want to watch telly.
Let's have a look.
Is it true? You can probably tell me. Is it... I read, it might have even been in one of your books, that if you... men like sort of red lips or lick lips because it looks a bit like a vagina.
Absolutely true, and it wasn't, yes. It
was it yours in your book?
Oh, yes,
especially if you've got a bit of a tash.
That's the Sarah Millican television programme, 10 o'clock, BBC 2 Thursday nights. You use your dad in the show a little bit, I know.
Yeah, my dad's in a few of the episodes. We talk to him via Skype, so he's just sitting at home. We're just glad that he's got a shirt on, because often when he's on Skype, he's stripped to the waist because they've got the heating on full belt because they're pensioners, so...
So you just have a little chat with him. How did that come about? Why did you start doing that?
He's really good at advice. He's really good at giving out dad advice, and I've lived my life on his advice.
So what is it? No-nonsense advice that cuts to the heart of it, or supporting, compassionate kind of advice?
Both, really. Sometimes puts his foot in it. Like years and years ago, when I'd broken up with a partner, he said, "You're about to be upset. You've lost everything," which is not really what you want to hear, but...
But it was true.
But it was factually accurate. He's good at advice, so we thought we'd give him a go. We made a pilot, and he was brilliant in it, so we thought we'd... I was slightly nervous in case, like, he got a series commissioned and I didn't. And I just popped up on his show every now and again.
So he's Skyping you, yeah. And what kind of things do you ask him on the show? What kind of things do you change
we ask him about sort of dating and what it was like courting in the old days compared to what it's like now, and we asked him for sort of survival tips on one of the episodes as well, because he's pretty good at... He taught me how to abseil down the side of a building if there was a fire when I was about 9. So
he physically showed you how to do it, or just described it?
No, just he had all the equipment in, and he told us how to break through the window and how to wrap a rope around. There was a rope in the bottom of Mum and Dad's wardrobe in their bedroom.
I don't know why, yeah.
I'm assuming it's just for a fire,
Let's
but you
hope.
never know if it's got alternative uses.
The fact they lived in a bungalow should have given you a clue, though, I imagine. You're touring pretty much. I mean, you do a lot of live work, don't you? How does that feel? I mean, what is that like in terms of, you know, the impact it makes in your life? Because you're in a relationship, so you're out a lot of the time working. When you get home, you must be tired, I would have thought. You must be a bit... Do you get crotchety, or are you easy to live with?
I think, well, I don't live with my partner, so that makes that a lot easier, doesn't
That's
it?
a very modern arrangement.
Very modern of you. Yeah, it is. We live 90 miles apart.
Wow.
And it's ace.
Quite a spread.
I love him with all of my heart, but I also love the time that I get to be on my own.
Wow, but 90 miles, I mean, that's... You
Well, that
can't...
wasn't... We didn't, like, measure it and go, right, you can have a house, anything after that. It just so happens that that's where we are.
But that is a big gap. I mean,
But
that's
not
a long...
when you're on the road a lot. When you're on the road a lot, it's not a gap at all.
But say you got the urge, right, for a cuddle, middle of the night you wake up. I mean, a man sometimes wakes up in the morning with the urge for a cuddle. That's an hour and a half driving solid. Sometimes...
Do you think you could keep your cuddle up?
The cuddle
for
can't...
that hour and a half?
I think I would have cuddled myself by then, I'll be honest with you. I think... Not necessarily on the drive over.
Well, yeah, we're talking about... Yeah, it's
tiring.
embracing
It's
yourself.
tiring.
Yeah.
So he doesn't see you probably at your very worst, and you probably don't see him at his very worst.
He sees his first thing in the morning. That's pretty horrific.
Well, you know what I mean? It's like when you're... I mean, because do you unload on each other? Do you kind of do... No, hang on. Hang on a second.
Yes.
I'm innocent. OK. Oh, there you go. There's no point even going back to that now. So that's great, though. That's working really good.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you would recommend that to other people?
I absolutely would, because it keeps everything sort of exciting and really nice. It's
But I do like... I like the sound... I mean, I don't like the sound of it. I'm happy with my arrangement. I don't want my wife to watch this and think I'm going to go home and go, that's it, off, 90 miles radius. Well, that won't be the first time I've said that, obviously. Well, I've got the
You might just have your cases packed outside. Oh, you like it that much? Get yourself away.
The trouble is, when we row, I've just got nowhere to go to. Because men, I often think, well, I'm going to go out for a while. And I get in the car and I drive around for half an hour. I've got nowhere to go to. I wind up going home.
Maybe just empty your robot cupboard. And sit in there.
No, I'm not even going to honour that with a smile. OK, do you have, you know, Gok? The lovely Gok has brought in Dolly, the French bulldog. A little... Oh, my God. Oh, I thought you'd snapped his neck then for a minute. I thought you'd mistreated the poor thing. Look at that. Hold on.
Oh.
Why has he gone to sleep with that? Snow Patrol haven't played him the album, have they?
Just a quick burst.
How lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. You know, I was looking forward to having you show because I knew you'd be not only warm but also very, very funny, and you exceeded any expectations I had. You're a fantastic guest. Ladies and gentlemen, the brilliant Sarah Millican.
Thank you.
You can relax and sit a little bit longer if you want. We're going to take a break, but join us afterwards. I'll be talking to Gok Wan, and we have the legendary Sugar Ray Leonard on the show. Don't go away. Welcome back. Thank you very much indeed. Time for my next guest. He's the man that makes us all look and feel fabulous. Please welcome Gok Wan. Give yourself a wipe down. A lovely... Gok Wan, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, guys. Gok, take a seat, relax, of course.
Hello.
You are removing dog hairs off you there.
I'm covered in dolly hair.
Well, this is the time of year when the hair comes off the dogs.
Apparently so. I've only just got her, so 4 weeks. I'm learning on the job.
Is this your first dog in your life, or did you have one when you were a kid?
We always had dogs growing up, and Mum and Dad have got one as well, but it's my first ever. She's like my daughter.
Well, she's gorgeous.
Thank you very
She's
much.
gorgeous.
I do love her. I'm such a proud poppy. Look at her. She's totally snuggling down with Snow Patrol.
Look. Hey, I'm thrilled Gok could join us because he's genuinely been in the wars this week. You're not at all well, are you?
No, I had an operation on Monday.
What was it for?
I have got a slipped disc in my spine.
Whoa.
So my bottom disc between my 2 lower vertebrae decided to pop out.
Wow.
And, yes, it's been quite painful, about 5 weeks now.
I'm not going to ask you how it happened, but I will say I know...
His name was Paul.
I know, that's serious and
It's
very
hardcore.
painful indeed.
It's really painful. I've been hobbling, but, you know, I couldn't miss tonight. I put my heels on and I'm pumped myself full of morphine.
Gok, you look spectacular. You're always so perfectly coordinated. I mean, it's obviously, it's black. You've gone for the basic black, but how long did it take you to get ready? When you go out, this is a simple one, I guess, but seriously, you know, you must... Because people must judge you when they see you out, don't they?
Do you know what? They kind of don't... I mean, the thing is, fortunately, I'm not paparazzi fodder, so they don't follow me around. It's really boring to take a photograph of what I'm wearing, but I do have to plan it. Like today, I had a dog walking outfit, which was just my scrubs before I started the day, and then I was in a voiceover, so there was like a relaxed outfit just to start the day. Then I had quite a busy function in the afternoon, so that was another outfit. Then home, get changed, now this outfit, and then pyjamas later.
Wow.
So that's like 5 outfits in one day. Are you knackered?
Well, I'm
Just
exhausted thinking about it. Can I recommend, why don't you buy a pair of jeans?
But you see, I always like to look pretty for you, Jonathan.
You do look lovely, and you know what, I know as well, you focus very sort of wholeheartedly on all aspects of your career, don't you? I mean, you're a real grafter.
I love it.
You've been filming, you went to China, was it this year or last year you filmed that
End of
China?
last year, went to film a documentary.
You went to Hong Kong and then into mainland China as well?
Yeah, so we did a whole tour. We flew into... We went from Leicester, where we filmed with my dad. We then went literally straight away to Hong Kong, filmed there. Then we went into China and travelled the whole southern coast, so from Shenzhen up to Guangdong, and then finally ended up in Shanghai.
And because that's where your dad comes from, it was
Hong Kong.
in Hong Kong itself. Oh, so he wasn't mainland China?
No,
then?
no. My grandparents are both Chinese, and then my dad was born in Hong Kong, but right on the tip of Hong Kong, in a tiny little village called Shuttlecock, which is right on the border.
Called Shuttlecock?
Yeah, Shuttlecock.
You're making this up. There's no village called Shuttlecock in Hong Kong.
You've just lost 500,000 Chinese viewers, you know that, don't you? Just so you know.
So you're in Shuttlecock,
So we're in
you're saying?
So my dad's village is right on the border of Hong Kong and China, so much so that the village is split in half. So half of it is China and half of it's Hong Kong. And so the whole premise of the show was to go in search of my Anglo-Asian roots. What does it mean to be mixed-race Asian? Yeah. And the other half was to look at trade and why China has just got the monopoly on producing everything. So 1 in 5 products in the world.
And China's, you know, it's the future, really, isn't
incredible.
it?
Incredible.
How was it for you going there? Did you feel any sense of, because of your ancestry, did you feel a kind of like a sense of coming home, or did you feel that really you wanted to be back here?
Well, stupidly, I thought I'd go out there and all of a sudden I would then hug a mountain and I would suddenly feel at one with my Chinese roots. And I didn't really like it, to be honest with you. I love Hong Kong and I love the shopping, but I didn't really like China. I found it really hard. And they're all really short, and I'm like 6'1" and Chinese looking. And so I was like an Asian Hagrid walking down the street. And all you'd get is you'd get these like very, very short Chinese people just walking past going, what the
Well, let's have a look at that. This has been out already, but I only saw part of it. And I thought, well, what a lovely idea. But also, you were a charming host, so I imagine you could do a travel show if you wanted to. Let's have a look at this.
At first sight, Bratown seems just like Jeanstown. Loads of hard workers doing really repetitive jobs, but here the workers really do get their hands full.
52G. I mean, that is a massive pair of buckets. Yeah. They're like rice bowls.
Yeah.
You can eat your dinner from them, like rice bowls.
Not rice bowls, they're noodle bowls.
Yeah, no, noodle bowls, yeah.
So that's the bra manufacturing industry in China. Well, that brings us to the kind of style work you do, because there you're looking at bras being made. And over here, often you're encouraging women to get, I believe you refer to breasts as bangers, don't
Bangers,
you? Get
yes.
the bangers out. So where did that come from, that kind of like, that openness with when did you first realise you could talk to women that way and it was OK?
What I've always done is I've always used a bit of humour to break the ice. I've always been really overly friendly. I'm very tactile anyway, and it's just been my way of working. But that was for working for years and years before television. And then when we first started filming How to Look Good Naked, I did it just as I knew how, and I didn't know how to be a bitch.
And women never minded you touching them because you pretend to be gay. So you can kind of get away with that, can't you?
7 kids at home, yeah, it's true.
Well, Sarah was saying earlier on she'd quite like someone to style her. I don't think she needs it. I don't think she needs styling. She looks great, I think. But you would... What would you do? Could you work with Sarah? Would you like to do that?
I would love to get my hands on those tits.
Work it, girl, work it. You go, girlfriend.
Do you know what? I'd love to dress Sarah, actually. And do you know what I like? Because what I love about women, and people always think this is a bit corny, but I love dressing women's personalities. And so when someone's full of life, and they're funny, and they've got that wonderful sense of being about them, that is, for a stylist, that's the perfect thing. Because if you're just dressing a form or just dressing a hanger, it's no fun. And so dressing someone like Sarah would be absolutely incredible.
Hey, what would you do for the band? Because some of them look great, but some of them, I won't know names, but the one in the middle with the waistcoat, don't look quite as fashion
Well, do you know
conscious.
what? I'm a massive Snow Patrol fan, and this is the honest truth. I'm a massive Snow Patrol fan.
What would you do?
And I was checking out their shoes before I came, and I just wanted to get me polish out.
Oh, yeah.
Because a couple of them need a bit of a polish. But I think they're dressed very well, and they're all coordinated.
What about the one with
in
the waistcoat
dusty
in the middle?
shades of grey right now.
I thought Guy Garvey had left elbow for a minute. What's going on? They drafted in the heavy guns. Looks like a 1930s milkman. So, here's the thing, Gok really is going to take over the world, I feel, and fear, because you're moving to cookery as well. You're doing a cookery show.
Yes.
When does that start?
So that goes out, I think, around May, June time, but we've already filmed it, so it's 6 parts.
6 parts.
6 half-an-hours for Channel 4, and it is me cooking Chinese food, basically.
Oh, well, there's an imaginative idea. So what's it called? Gok's Wok? Have a wok on the... That's what it should be
It's
called.
weird, because they wanted to call it Gok's Wok.
Well, they should have. That's the title, Gok's Wok.
I think they've gone for the safe option, which is just Gok cooks Chinese.
So, are you a cook, though, or are you learning as you go on this?
Well, no, because I mean, before there was fashion, there was food in my life, because I was brought up in restaurants and takeaways.
And you were quite a big kid, weren't you?
Yeah, I was 21 stone. That's a lot of fried rice. So I was enormous, and so I was brought up in Chinese takeaways and restaurants, and Dad taught us how to cook. So when we were very young, we would work front of house. We're talking like 4 and 5 years old.
Let me stop you there for a second. Was this the old days of Chinese cooking? Because when I used to eat Chinese takeaways when I was growing up in East London, they weren't healthy.
No.
I mean, they were great. They were irresistible, but it was all MSG, and it was all fried up with loads of oil.
And they all
man,
taste
it was
the same.
gorgeous, and I'm salivating at the thought. But you probably wouldn't want to eat it too often now, that kind of cooking.
Well, this is it. Well, this is the whole idea behind this show, is because Chinese food is really healthy, it's really tasty, and believe it or not, it's the most eaten cuisine in this country, but it's the least cooked at home. So people are really afraid of cooking it.
So is Chinese more popular than Indian
Yes,
takeaways?
it's the most cooked food here, but no one cooks it. Anyone here cook Chinese food? So you all get it from a takeaway, most of you. So something like 98% of people get it from the takeaway. And so the idea behind this show was to show the nation all of my dad's family recipes. And it's like really healthy, the broths, really good flavoured food, and really easy to cook as well.
All right, have a look at Gok with his wok. Here he is.
Right, OK, so trusty cleaver then. I can genuinely only cut with a knife like this. If I cut with a Western or like a push knife, then I'm going to cut my fingers. I like the weight of a chopper. So I'm going to start by cutting up my ginger. About a 3 centimetre knob, chunk, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to cut them julienne, which is basically a posh word for saying strips.
When does that start on TV? You thought May or June?
Yeah, I think it's May, June time.
But you can see there, Gok's got the moves. That was like a professional cook there with the chip, 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 chip.
Kung Fu Panda.
Wow.
Did you see that?
The one thing I really want to ask you about, and I know, and you know what, I love Gok because he's a very colourful character, and doesn't take himself too seriously, but a lot of what he does is quite serious. And I think some of the work you do on the show with women, I can see the change it makes in women's self-esteem sometimes when you really help them come out. And I know you want to, you're going to direct your efforts elsewhere at the moment. You're going to help teens, is that right?
Yeah, so we've, the last 12 months, been working a lot with teens and their confidence, and then we made the Gok's Teens Naked Truth, which was a 3-part series looking at body dysmorphia and bullying, eating disorders, anxiety, I mean, the full works. But all those kind of growing pains that teenagers are going through that kind of, they don't get talked about in society. We're a bit afraid to talk about our teenagers being a bit upset or a bit lonely or having a hard time. And so we decided to make this series, and as a result, we managed to get body confidence passed through the government, and a lesson plan that we wrote is now being taught in loads of schools around the country, which I'm really proud of, because I think it's really important, and I think we need to be able to help the next generation feel better about themselves. The hardest thing for any teenager out there is to say to their teachers or their parents, I'm really unhappy and I'm struggling. It's the hardest thing. So what this lesson plan does is it gives them an opportunity to have a voice and for them to talk about it, and then hopefully they'll be able to get the right help.
It's what a wonderful thing you're doing, and thank you for doing it. Hello, to have you here, and I love spending time in your company, but also I admire what you do. Mr. Gokwan, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Fabulous. Relax a second. Good to see you, man. And look after that dolly. What a lovely dog. Oh. We're going to take another break, but don't go away, because afterwards I will be talking to boxing legend Sugar Ray Leonard, and we have music at last from the fabulous Snow Patrol. See you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. Thank you very much indeed. OK, I've been looking forward to this very much. My next guest is one of the finest boxers in the history of the sport. Before he comes out here and talks with me, let's have a look at some of the highlights of an incredible career. This is Sugar Ray at his devastating best.
And they're looking for him all the time to give him a show. He hasn't got the answer. There it is again, the right hand. Punches to the body, breaking him in half, and I don't think he's going to make it from this one. And his legs have gone completely.
Please welcome Sugar Ray Leonard. See you. Come on out here. Sugar Ray Leonard, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourself comfy. Should I call you Mr. Leonard or Ray or Sugar? What should I call you?
Ray.
Ray. Okay. Well, no, I want to call you Sugar Ray. Is that okay?
Please, no, Ray. Just Ray.
You don't like Sugar Ray so much anymore?
Not the way you say it.
OK. Well, I'm a huge fan. I need to say this. When I was growing up, I liked boxing, and, you know, I was semi-pro. But I loved seeing you box, and it was an exciting time in boxing, in world boxing anyway. So to have you here is a real thrill. How old were you when you started in boxing? What age did you start?
I started boxing when I was 14. And the reason I started boxing, because, I mean, my brother Roger used to beat me up for no apparent reason, just because I was there. But I was a very quiet, shy kid, very introverted. And of all the sports to be involved with, I got involved with boxing. I kind of found boxing a sport that demands your full attention and your full participation. And so you said you were a shy, kind of introverted kid. Were your parents surprised that you, of their brood, got involved in a sport which is as kind of demanding as that? You know, Jonathan, they could not believe that I was a boxer. In fact, I said, Mom, Dad, come and watch me fight tonight. They said, who gonna fight? No one's gonna fight you. Because my mother named me, my name is Ray Charles. My mother named me after Ray Charles because she was a major, major fan of Ray Charles. So she thought I had a future in singing, but my voice is bad. Well, let us be the judge of that. Could you sing a little bit for us? Oh, London, yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Maybe Mum was right after all. Yes, so she was. When did you have your first big important boxing match, and when did you know that it was a possible career for you, for real? Well, I knew that I had found my love, if you will, when I won the Golden Gloves. I competed in a number of tournaments, and I won majority of them, 95% of them. And I kind of said, this is my sport. This is... Because as a young kid, I was so disciplined. I was so self-motivated. I was so focused, which I call tunnel vision. I was so determined to be the best. So you won gold in the Olympics in 76? 76, Montreal. 76. So you were a kid then, you were like 20, 19? I was 20. Okay. So after that, you know you're going to be a professional boxer? No. I was not going to turn professional because I've heard so many horrible stories about boxers who turn pro, make money, and then all of a sudden they end up broke, homeless, and what have you. So after the Olympic gold medal, I was going to college. I was going to University of Maryland to further my education to get a good job. So how did you
get sidetracked from that then?
My dad was sick during the Olympics. He didn't tell anybody, but my dad had spinal meningitis and tuberculosis, and my dad went into a coma. We had no money, and my mentor, Jenks Morton, said, Ray, if you want to make money for your parents, turn pro and make money fast. I did that. And he was right. I did make a lot of money fast. And I took care of my dad. My dad regained his health. And I said to myself, you know what? This is not a bad job. And I kept going.
Well, you know, it's not a bad job when you're winning.
Yes.
Of course. It's a bad job when you're the one not winning. Were there ever times when you regretted getting into boxing? Because it kind of seems not so much accidental, but almost like it was a choice taken out of your hands.
Well, it was a choice taken out of my hands, but because the more I fought, the more I enjoyed it. I enjoy the preparation. People ask me, do I miss boxing? And I don't miss getting hit necessarily, but I miss the camaraderie. For me as a fighter, I would choreograph a fight. If I was fighting you, I'll look at you, I'll observe you, and I notice right away a body shot will put you down.
I'll tell you. Ray, or maybe I should start calling you Sugar again. Let's be honest, a shot anywhere would put me down. Even near my body would put me down. How fast? Are you still fast?
I'm faster than you, Jonathan.
Dude. Okay, if I come at you now, you reckon you really seriously think...
Oh, my God.
Seriously? Seriously?
Turn off the camera.
Seriously? You're on my turf here, bitch. Can you know what, can you imagine, because he had a very good reason, can you imagine how delighted a lot of people would be if he punched me in the face right now?
If I was fighting you, Jonathan...
Why do you keep raising this possibility?
No, I'm just saying, but if I was fighting you, hit you, right? I wouldn't think about you hitting me back, because you couldn't hit me back. But...
I'd get one. I'd get one.
But... That's my point. That's my point.
That's the wiggle.
That's my point.
Seriously, you want to throw down? We could throw down any time, because I'm telling you.
I would love to fight you.
You know what? Even though I suspect I might get beaten, I would kind of enjoy it as well. Just to say that I'd had you punch me would be an honour. I'll be honest with you.
So would I. I got time.
Give me a little punch afterwards, but don't hurt me.
Okay.
A little one.
Okay.
Okay, no, a little tiny one in the tummy. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Hold it. I'm going to flex.
No,
not too hard. Oh! Man, that was so... even though that was... I felt that. Wow. Whoa, that was terrifying. But brilliant. I've never felt more alive. That was awesome. Okay. I could have blocked it. So, the interesting thing about you, and this is a fascinating thing about Ray's career, is you fought in so many different weight categories. You started, was it light welterweight you started at?
I started off, well, yeah, light welterweight, 140, then 147, and 154, and 160, 165.
And so this was so that you could go up against different competitors?
It was harder, though, because those guys were bigger, much stronger, and I just beat them with, you know, speed and just, you know.
So the biggest weight you got to when you were fighting professionally was what?
It was really 160s. I was like 158 when I fought Hagler. That was pretty much the heaviest I've been.
And that was weight was in muscle form rather than in fat form, though, was it?
No, I had several dollars in my pocket. No, I did, really. I did.
So really, you used to put dollars in your pocket so you'd get the weight?
To weigh in. Yeah, I did that, yeah.
They didn't frisk you?
No, because I had on a sweatshirt. I had a, you know, jumpsuit on.
How can you do that? Was it as simple as that? You could just hide a silver dollar?
Oh, no, they don't check your pockets.
I suppose you'd have to be pretty brave to say, I'm going to rummage around in a box of shorts.
Exactly, yes.
We had, I was trying to work it out, and I thought a way of working out so we could all work out, you know, really see this weight gain is if we did it in cakes, if we showed how much in cakes that you put on. So if we were looking, we put a pile of cakes in, that's how much weight Ray put on to fight from welterweight up to, what were you, light middle or middle?
That is heavyweight.
Yeah,
light middleweight.
Sarah, that's a scientific experiment we're going there. It's not for you, OK? Seriously, if I come back there later and we find out they're gone, I'm going to be furious. Do you like a cake?
I do.
Okay. Is it nice being able to relax? Because you must have had to deny yourself any... Hang on! How quickly did they disappear? Okay. Did you had to deny yourself all kind of foods, I would have thought. And also, were you one of these boxers who gives up sex before a fight?
I was, what they call it, abstinent?
I think they call it desperate. And horny. I was horny.
No, because what happens, because having sex before a fight, it's a no-no.
How long before would you stop?
Couple months.
Wow.
Wow.
You must have been furious by the time you got in the ring.
I was pissed.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And the night afterwards, if you weren't too badly damaged, that must have been a great night, wasn't it, for whoever was on the receiving end? Even there, with the thunderous club, I felt that. One thing that occurs to me, and reading Ray's book, and if you're interested in boxing, but also if you just want to read a fascinating life story, then Sugar Ray Leonard, The Big Fight, can't recommend highly enough. But reading it, I think this would make just an incredible movie.
We're working on that now.
Who would play you, do you think?
Brad Pitt.
The only one. You know what? He isn't good-looking enough to play you when you were younger. You were too handsome. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed meeting Sugar Ray as much as I did. Mr. Sugar Ray Leonard, ladies and gentlemen. Fabulous, sir. Thank you, sir. Can I get you to sign that for me before you go? I'm going to get you to sign my book for me. Sugar Ray Leonard, ladies and gentlemen. He's written in there, I probably couldn't beat you. That's what he's written. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my book signed. Sugar Ray Leonard. Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Great to meet you. Sugar Ray Leonard, the greatest. Thanks to all my guests tonight, of course, Sugar Ray Leonard, but also the fabulous Glock One and Sarah Millican. And Dolly, the French Bulldog, of course. Join me next week if you can on the show, because I will be talking with Mr. Danny DeVito. The brilliant comedian Dara O'Brien will be here, and David Walliams and Simon Cowell will be sitting together on the couch. Plus, we have music from Labyrinth. But now, playing Called Out in the Dark, will you please welcome the fabulous Snow Patrol. Snow Patrol!
Well, we've upped the challenge tomorrow. Well, it is the semi-finals. There's a big twist in store with Dancing on Ice at 7 before the stars bring Mum along for a live Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Mother's Day special at 8:30.